27th pick in this year's NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens select, well, it ain't going to be too much longer till we get to find out the answer to that question, who the Baltimore Ravens are taking tonight. And to find that out, of course, you'll be watching the draft, but where will you be watching it at? Hopefully, if you're in Baltimore, if you're here in Baltimore, you'll be joining us at Union Hill tonight for our NFL draft party. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's literally right around the corner. So make sure y'all come through. Starts at 7:30. Bring your friends, bring your family. Let's just have a great time. Shout out to James and Glenn from 410 Sports Talk. We're just gonna enjoy ourselves, man. Watching the draft, having some good food, some good drinks. Now, to get in is free, but you need to pay for your own food, drinks, whatever you get. You got to pay for that. But to get in, it's free. If you just want to come and vibe, that's perfectly fine. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. Now, we got some questions. Because, you know, Team Keep It Clean, like, y'all don't stop. Y'all don't stop. But that's what I appreciate about y'all, that y'all don't ever stop. And this first question came from my guy, Joshua B. He said, with the 27th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select. He said, what's up, Ingravenvids and Team Keep It Clean? What's up, Josh? He said, hope all is well and everyone's family is doing amazing and everybody had a great weekend. As you can see with the title, I'm going to give my take on who I think we will get. Now, I'm kind of stuck on like 4 guys, and I'm going to say who else I would like on the team and who can help, but I'm going to try and manifest him to our team, LOL. With the 27th pick in the 2025 draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Malachi Starks from Georgia. I've seen a couple of mock drafts with him in 27 or him going earlier, but I feel like if we draft him at 27, our secondary could probably be better than it was in 2023. With a baller safety like him, we can be more versatile and move people around a lot more and not be worried about much. I really want Starks in black and purple, but I know how the board works, so if he gets taken, I have a couple of other players I think will help this team also, so that's nice. Because don't make the mistake that I do sometimes in the draft. I've done it before plenty of times. We'll fall in love with a player, with this particular player, and I'm like, oh man, I hope the Ravens draft him, and then most of the time they don't draft them. But there was one time where I fell in love with this player, and when the Ravens, they picked their first round draft pick, or one of their first round draft picks that year, his name ended up getting called, and that was Rashad Bateman. I said, oh yeah, we got it. So this year, I haven't fallen in love with any players, but I do have my expectations on who I think the Ravens will pick. And that's still Derek Harmon. I still think that's the guy. Anyway, we'll see. But he also said he wanted Starks in black and purple, but he knows how the board works. Somebody else who he thinks will help the team, defensive tackle, Derek Harmon. He said he would definitely help with the rotation of the defensive tackles and make it a nightmare with the interior offensive line with him in 92 and 98. Next is safety Xavier Watts. Oh, Hurst. Continue to hear so much good stuff about him. But he's projected to be a second rounder. But again, things have changed because, like you said, you know how the board goes. He said, when I was watching him, he is like a balanced ball hawk. You know how some ball hawk and safeties can be weak at tackling or less physical? Not him. He's physical as they come and had 6 interceptions last year, and he's also versatile. Next is edge rusher James Pierce Jr. He's 6'5" and had 7.5 sacks last season, 20 total sacks in 3 seasons. Won't have to start and can learn and replace Kyle Van Noy. See, I like that, the production. The production is super, super important. I know a lot of people have been talking about Shamar Stewart with all of his ability, how athletic he is. But not to compare, but the last time we heard that, not that it didn't work out, because Odafe Way has worked out in the long run, but it took a long time. And in my opinion, the Ravens, they need somebody ready right here, right now. Because with Odafe Way, you don't even know if he's going to be here for the long run or not. He could be gone after this year. He could be gone before this year even starts. He could be gone tonight. So, we'll see. Anyway, he said the last person is Tyler Booker. He's also a 6'5", good run blocker. He can help at left guard, and he's just a dog. If we can get one of those players, I can tell the draft, or I can call the draft a big win. Even if we don't draft one of them, I trust EDC 1,000%. And I know I'm 0 for 4 in picks. LOL, I just have a feeling it's one of these guys. What do you think about these players, and how can they help the Baltimore Ravens? Well, we just answered that. So they all could bring something different. You talk about Malachi Starks, with just him freeing up Kyle Hamilton, allowing Kyle Hamilton to get back to the true super duper Kyle that we know and love that he was before. Because again, remember last year, he was still super duper Kyle, but he was restricted. So Malachi Starks would help free him up. Derek Harmon would just help open up things for the entire defense from front to back. He would make Matabike's job easier. He would make Travis Jones, Odafe Wade, Kyle Van Noy. He would just help the pass rush intensely, immediately, just like that. just like that, because when you can get interior pressure, and it can help the Ravens defense as a whole, because if you can get pressure with just sending 4, ooh, that'd be a beautiful thing. So then who else did you talk about? Xavier Watts having a safety, a ball hawk safety that ain't afraid to come up and tackle somebody too. That's important. Like you talked about balance, that would add that much versatility to the secondary again. And James Pierce Jr., a proven pass rusher, a legitimate pass rusher, a pass rusher that's been productive. That will be a beautiful thing. He said, do you and Team Keep It Clean have any draft day rituals, or do the same thing every year, or watch the same thing every year before the draft? Since 2022, I've been watching the movie Draft Day, and that year I watched it before the draft. We drafted all-pro best safety in the world, Kyle Hamilton. And every year since then, I've been watching the same movie, and I haven't complained about who we have drafted since then. Much love and appreciation until the next email. Josh, you know I appreciate you. I love you, my friend. I hope everything is going good for you, and you keep watching Draft Day. That was actually a good movie. A lot of people thought that movie was garbage. I liked that movie a lot, so I enjoyed it. It was cool to me. But anyway, no, same thing we do every year. I mean, this year we're doing a little different, just a little different. But yeah, we usually just do the live stream during the first round of the draft. But this year, decided to take it up a notch. Next question came from my guy Antonio. He said, "Hey, Team Keep It Clean. We in here, Ingraven. We the GOAT." Notice I said we, because if you say you the GOAT, you're gonna be modest and defer and say we are, when we all know the real. But anyways, in my Ingraven voice, it's true though. Y'all are. Y'all really are. Me, no, not at all. Not even close. But y'all got it. Anyway, he said, how about this transaction? Ravens trade Mark Andrews to the Colts for a swap pick in the first round, because in a lot of mocks, they have Indy getting a tight end. That's true. They have been. He said, we swap picks and we get the edge rusher Mike Green right before Cincinnati ends up getting him. LOL. He said, tell me your thoughts and keep up the outstanding work that you put in. I appreciate you, Antonio. Thank you. Ooh, so moving up in the first round. So Indy still keep a first round pick. They take 27, and we move all the way up and take Indy's and take Mike Green. So you want one of the top. I like that. I like your thinking, because you want one of the top pass rushers in the draft. But would Mark Andrews allow you to move up that far? You know what? Let me look to see exactly where Colts first round pick is. I know it's high because they sucked last year. They are picking at 14th overall to move up 13 spots. Can Mark Andrews help you move up 13 spots in the first round? I don't think so. He's a phenomenal player, great player, but a tight end, I don't think he would allow the Ravens to move up 30. And I know you'll be swapping, so they will keep a pick, but they to get Mark Andrews, so you get a good player, a really good player. But 13 spots in the first round, I think it will take a lot more than that. Draft Day 2025. Next question came from my guy Trey. And my apologies, y'all. I know the mic don't sound normal like it normally does, but hey, we got to work with what we got, baby. And the camera that I'm using, it's not even my regular camera, so it gets hot real fast and whatnot. So I got to start recording and record and wait for the camera to cool off. It's a mess right now, but hey, we trying our best for y'all. We love y'all. Anyway, Trey said, what's up, Ingraven? Hope everything is good with you and the family. Also wishing for safe travels to Baltimore and back home. I appreciate that a lot, Trey. Thank you. Love you, man. He said, it's the day we've been waiting for since Mark Andrews and his soaked gloves let me down in January. He said the 2025 NFL draft is finally today. I have a list of players I'll be excited for and a list of players I will be unhappy with if we drafted them. The 27th pick, the possibility of acquiring a second first-round pick, trading into the front half of the second round, or staying with the 59th pick is what I'm basing this off of. So, thumbs up to safety Nick Emenwari, to also Tyler Booker, Jahdae Barron, edge James Pierce Jr., Mike Green, Carson Schwesinger, edge JT Tamalu, cornerback Trey Amos, safety Xavier Watts, safety Kevin Winston, Billy Bowman Jr., cornerback Azaria Thomas, wide receiver Jalen Higgins, wide receiver Jalen Royals, guard Tate Rutledge, and cornerback Benjamin Morrison. So this is based off of, again, he said staying with the 27th pick, or getting a second first-round pick, or trading into the front half of the second round, or staying with this original second-round pick. So all those players that he named are guys that he likes in those different situations for the Ravens to draft in the first or second round. So what I was just telling y'all about the camera overheating, it did it again for like my third time during this video. But anyway, back to my guy Trey's question. So we talked about the people that he gave the thumbs up to draft him, but what about the thumbs down? He said safety Malachi Starks. Edge, Shamar Stewart. Okay, I'm with you with that one. He said edge, Nick Scourton, edge, Mikael Williams, safety, Andrew McCouba, and linebacker, Demetrius Knight Jr. He said if you could draft 2 to 3 players who have a realistic chance to be drafted in Baltimore 27 or any of the scenarios I listed, who would you draft? 2 to 3? I would say Tyler Booker. I know it wouldn't be a sexy pick, but you can never have enough upgrades on the offensive line, especially the Baltimore Ravens at the guard position, because next year there could be some questions at guard. Falele is in the last year of his contract. You have Andrew Voorhees, question mark. You have Ben Cleveland on a 1-year deal. So you're going to be right back in the same position again. Ronnie Stanley's set. Roger Rosengarten is set. Linda Flender, he's going to be set. So you got those cornerstones right there. If you could have another player that you could draft and he'd be there for the next 4 to 5 years on the offensive line, that can help you build the consistency. So that would be one of them. James Pierce Jr., we talked about that a lot, so that would be another one. Another one would be Xavier Watts as well. Now, second round, I know you said 2 or 3, but I'm going to go 4. Jaden Higgins. That size and that shiftiness at that size, that's nasty. In a good way, that's nasty. And now seeing how the Ravens know how to develop wide receivers now too. And seeing how D-Hop is just a quick little stopgap. He's just a quick little stopgap. He's just here for right now. He ain't going to be here for the future, though. But Jaden Higgins can be. You would have him on a 4-year deal because he'd be a second-round pick. So, yeah, that's the one that I would get a thumbs up to. He said, we obviously don't know how the draft will go, but if it was up to me, I would draft safety Nick Evan at 27. Trademark for an early to mid-second-round pick. Ooh, boy, y'all really got some, high hopes for what the Baltimore Ravens will get in return for Mark Andrews. I don't see them getting no second-round pick. I think a third is the max that they could get, but it'd be like a low third. But I think more realistically, like a couple of fourths, maybe a fourth and a fifth, but I think a fourth is where it would start. That's just me, though. I think Mark is an amazing player, but I think what he would net in a trade would be like a fourth round and change. But hey, we'll see. Well, we maybe see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, he said I would trade Mark for an early to mid-second round pick and draft edge JT Tumulua and guard Tate Rutledge at 59. I would love Jaden Higgins on the Ravens, but I just don't see us drafting wide receiver until round 3, and we will probably have to trade up again to get a good one like Jalen Royals or Kyle Williams. Once again, safe travels, and just like Mark Andrews, better be by no later than Friday night when it comes to being a Raven. I'm out. See, y'all are crazy. Y'all sending in questions. Y'all knew we were traveling, but y'all still sending questions on draft day. But y'all also knew that I'm crazy and that I would still get to them before the draft started. So I love y'all. I love y'all because we family, man. We really are. Much love to y'all, man. Next question came from my guy, Jarvo. He said, draft night. He said, hate that I'm going to miss the party, but I will be on the live stream. There's a lot of players I want in the first round, but I think we should go O-line because we need to protect our quarterback. Then second round, get that pass rush or safety. We can win games if a defensive player goes down, but we can't win games without Lamar. Ooh. 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 Wow. Ooh. That's why I wouldn't have a problem with O-line. I would not. Again, it's not sexy like a cornerback or a safety or wide receiver or edge guy, but it's something that's needed, and it's always going to be needed. Always. I mean, y'all know. We know. So, anyway, he said lunch break made a point that I had said before, and that is we need to give Kane and Braid more playing time. Oh, Sanusi Kane and Bo Braid. He said, do you think this draft this year is the most highly anticipated draft ever? Reason being, seeing what will happen with Mark Andrews and Justin Tucker. I feel like every draft for Ravens fans is highly anticipated because we're wondering what's going to happen next. What is our favorite team going to do? How are they going to address this? How are they going to address that? But I think just with all the speculation around Mark Andrews, the fact that we are finally soon over the next 2 weeks, in my opinion, we're going to have the Mark Andrews question answered. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? What's going to happen with him? We'll find out. With Odafe away, you can find out too. That's been another one that people have been wondering and speculating on too. And if there's anybody else who the Baltimore Ravens could trade, and not that if somebody's going to get traded, it has to be during a draft. Guess what? Camera died again. Battery got too hot. Anyway, back to what my guy Java was talking about as far as being the most highly anticipated draft. I think, yeah, because with everything that surrounds all those guys who we talked about with the possibility of them getting traded. But what I was saying before is that while I would expect somebody to get traded during the draft, whether it's first round or later on rounds or whatever, just because they don't get traded now or even in the next week or so, it doesn't mean that they still won't be traded because there's still a lot of offseason to go, so anything could happen. Next question came from my guy Jack, and Jack, thank you for keeping this one clean, my friend. I appreciate you. He said, do you still believe in Lamar? Yes. Yes, for sure. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But anyway, he said, in other words, do you think he will win us a Super Bowl or two soon? I do. I do. Lamar Jackson, he just keeps getting better and better and better. And I know what the playoff record is. I know it ain't the prettiest, but at the same time, look at how he's done in the playoffs. Look at how he's responded in the playoffs, especially that Bills game. We know the fumble. Oh, yuck, ugly, gross. Again, there's context and whatnot, but it happened. It happened. Even if Mark Andrews dropped the pass to play before, it happened. Even if there was a bad snap, it happened. The fumble happened. And that is on Lamar. That's on him. The interception looked like a miscommunication, but whatever, it happened. That's on him. Okay, cool. That was the first half. Look at that second half. That second half, he cleaned up all of that and put the team in position to tie the game, put the team in position to even possibly win the game. Who knows what would happen if Mark Andrews would have never fumbled that ball. But hey, anyway, he said, if your answer is no, well, it's yes. So that negates everything. But anyway, he said, if your answer is no, which is my stance, what is the point of re-signing him? That's a rhetorical question. I believe Lamar should play out his contract, and if he doesn't win it all, we should let him walk instead of re-signing him. We need to draft a developmental quarterback. Understand that this is also a risk and means starting over, but what other options do we have? I think that you could take that same, I mean, it won't happen now because he just got re-signed, but you could take that same logic and apply it to John Harbaugh. And I'm not saying fire, but you could have let him play out his contract. Ravens could have let him play out his contract and then see how things went before when his contract played out. If he ended up winning the Super Bowl with this Baltimore Ravens team, or if he didn't, you start over like you said and get another head coach. That's the way I would look at it. So anyway, he said in summary, what should we do about Lamar? His contract is up in 2 years, and if he doesn't win it all, what do we do then? I'm already in favor of drafting a developmental quarterback and not re-signing Lamar. Guess what, y'all? Camera turned off again. Internal battery hot. Anyway, what my guy Jack basically saying, he does not believe in Lamar Jackson. And what it sounds like to me, it sounds like this is very black and white. And what I mean when I say that is that you seem like you're the type that's like, all right, Lamar, if he don't win the Super Bowl during his contract, then nope, don't re-sign him. It ain't worth it until he wins the Super Bowl. And I can see how you could possibly think like that, but I think it's important just to look at Lamar. Look at what he's done. Look at how he's done it. Especially just look at the growth of him over these past 2 years alone. You can throw all of that the other years out the window. I mean, you got to include them, but still, even if you don't look at all the other years, look at the growth from these past 2 years alone, from 2 years ago to last year, and look how even more amazing he's gotten. And you don't believe in that? Again, I know you're probably thinking, oh, look what he did in the playoffs. But again, look at what he did in the playoffs. Look at it. I think you're looking at it like, all right, it's black and white, and there's no gray in the middle. There's no gray areas with this whole thing. It's either this or that, and that's it. And I just think when you look at it like that, that removes just how special Lamar Jackson is and everything that he's capable of doing. And he just keeps getting better. He just keeps getting better. And this Ravens, they keep getting better with him, but obviously they got to finish. They have not finished yet, and they got to get over that hump. But to get over that hump, you stick with Lamar. You don't start this whole thing over, in my opinion. You stick with Lamar, and you keep on going because you know he has it. You know he is him. So you know eventually they're going to cross that bridge and make it happen.